9. Brought to you by Kellogg's, the folks who bring the best to you each morning. The widest choice of cereals in the forms you like best. Yours from Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now let's all play What's My Line?
Now let's meet our award-winning panel of What's My Line. First, just back from a European vacation, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now I'd like to introduce someone who preceded me all over Europe and is the talk of Paris and various spas, our dear friend, Martin Gabel.
On my left, a girl who has just broken all box office records in the history of the Westport Country Playhouse, Miss Arlene Francis.
Hello, dear. And now the publisher of Random House, the squire of Mount Kisco, and our dear friend, Bennett Cerf.
John Daly is taking a week off. He's in Japan pursuing the study of Zen Buddhism, I understand. So in his place, we have tonight the panel moderator of What's My Line from England. In England, it's not called a panel moderator, it's called the chairman. And Eamonn Andrews has been the chairman in England for 8 years. That's longer than even John Daly has been obfuscating us here in New York. So here is Chairman Eamonn. No, it isn't, is it?
No.
It isn't. Well, it's almost as long. Anyway, here he is, Eamonn Andrews, running our show tonight.
Well, once again, you're very welcome to What's My Line. As Bennett told you, John Daly is in Tokyo on a news story, but he will be back. You'll be glad to hear right here next Sunday. Well, I'm delighted to be here, and my good friends on the panel really make me feel at home. And doing it for 8 years, well, you know, it's a bit used to it by now, but I think it's fair to say that we should tonight do it under the international rules. They are, of course, exactly the same as the rules you use each week, but there you are. And we've got news for the panel as well, and that is they don't like this news, that they will have to blindfold themselves for the first challenge, because there is, as John Daly would say, an area of identification. So if you would do that, please. We have some very tough challenges coming up, and I hope that we're going to beat the panel. And we'll also have a famous mystery guest before our panel a little later in the show. Now, we'll meet our first challenger after... All right, all ready, panel. This is not our mystery guest, but just a blindfold in case they would recognize some point or other about. So would our first challenger sign in, please? Thank you and welcome. Now, if you'll take a seat there and make yourself very comfortable. And you have, I'm sure, met or seen our famous panel, and you know how we keep the score. And you're 10-0 and you've beaten the panel. All right, and we're going to show you at home, of course, what our challenger does for a living, in case you don't know already. And in case you want to play the hard way with the panel, close your eyes. We'll tell you when to open them. Here it comes. There's no doubt about that, so we're going to start off this time with Arlene Francis, and the free piece of information, Arlene, is that our challenger is salaried.
May I ask if your name has been in the papers recently?
Yes, ma'am.
May I ask if you have anything to do with the sports world?
Yes, ma'am.
May I ask if you had anything to do with the big fight?
I did.
May I suggest that you are not one of the contenders?
No, ma'am.
May I suggest that you might be a promoter?
No.
You may suggest it, but we got to charge a no for that. That's 1 gone, 9 to go. Bennett Cerf.
We were toying with the idea of that boy, but they're not.
Bill Rosenson.
Bill Rosenson, but he's out. In connection with the fight, were you in or near the ring at the time the fight was fought?
Both.
Were you
He's
actually...
a man of many parts.
Were you actually in the ring while the fight was going on?
Yes, sir.
Were you the referee of the fight?
Yes, sir.
All right, yes, Ruby Goldstein. Well, I'm afraid this #1 sports fan, Miss Francis, here, got onto you very quick, Ruby. But that
Ruby
was...
Goldstein was known as the jewel of the ghetto. Is that correct?
That's right.
Well, you're one of the great lightweights of all time.
Oh, thank you very much.
One of the most famous referees. I've heard of him for so many years back. How long have you been refereeing?
Oh, since 1943 with the New York State Athletic Commission. I had a year before that at the same camp that Mr. Gabel was at Fort Hamilton, Brooklyn.
Was it a tough decision last night, by the way, or the other night? Was it hard for you to stop this when the champion was down? Did you...
No, it's not a hard decision. A champion is a human being just like any other boy, and you don't want to see anybody get hurt.
How many of these sort of big fights, Ruby, have you refereed?
Oh, I lost track of how many I refereed, but in championship fights, I would say about 25, one more or less.
We're going to be able to read about these in a book that you're writing. What's it going to be called?
Well, I'm not writing the book because I don't write well at all, but Miss Dorothy Kilgallen's friend, Frank Graham, the Journal American, is writing a book about Ruby Goldstein.
Called?
The Third Man in the Ring. It will be out in November.
We'll look forward to seeing that and many more big fights to you, Ruby.
Good. Thank you very much.
Good night to you.
Good night.
Well, I can see that our panel are right bang in form. We're going to have trouble getting past them here. But we will try by asking another challenger to sign in, please. Mr. Keith L. Gems. A little bit odd to have said goodbye to Ruby and meet Gems, isn't it? Now, whereabouts do you come from?
I come from London, England.
I've heard about that place, yes. Have you met our famous panel here?
Well, I have not.
Well, you're going to meet them better now. Come right over here, Keith, and sit down beside me. Now, you know the rules, of course, Keith. It's pretty well the same as at home, except where we only have points and certificates. Here, there's cash. You're all right, you see?
Good.
All right, and once again, we're going to show you at home what our challenger does for a living, and if you do close your eyes, sir, we'll tell you when to open them. Here it is. All right, self-employed. First question with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Mr. Gems, may we rule out that you have anything to do with the world of sports or entertainment?
You may, yes.
Do you deal in services?
No.
Services.
Doesn't everybody?
It's sort of services, and just let me have a word with them.
Yes.
Yeah, we're backtracking when we just give you one no, because we think, loosely speaking, the field of entertainment is concerned here.
What?
The field of entertainment
It is
concerned.
loosely concerned.
So I'm getting the no on entertainment, not on services.
That's
Thank
right.
you, Eamonn.
Well, is there also a product connected with what you do?
I'm sorry, what'd you say again?
Product.
Is there a product connected with what you do?
Yes.
Is that product something that would amuse people? Since Mr. Andrews says entertainment is loosely related to what you do.
Yes, you could say that.
Is it a sort of toy?
No.
No, it's not a toy. No, 2 down, 8 go, Miss Francis.
Do people watch you when you do whatever you do with this product?
No.
No, they do not. 3 down, 7 to go.
Mr. Gems, would you say that this product is equipment that is used by some kind of an act?
No.
No, definitely not. 4 down, 6 to go. We did choose the field of entertainment very loosely, you know. Miss Kilgallen.
Is it looser in London than it is in America, do you suppose?
Mr. Gems, is this product something that anyone on this panel might have, do you think?
No.
We don't think so. No, 5 down, 5 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Is it something that the English people use rather than the Americans?
No.
No, it is not exclusive to England. 6 down, 4 to
Can
go.
both men and women use this product?
No.
No?
I can't say either way, really.
He's giving the no, I think, on use the product. So, isn't that what you're giving it on?
That's right.
You don't exactly use the product.
You
don't.
Jim, you don't use the product.
You throw it away.
Yes. Is the product consumable?
No.
No, it's not. 8 down, 2 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Would this product ever be sold for the benefit of children?
No.
No. That's quite right. 9 down, 1 to go, Mr. Gabel.
Is the product alive?
No.
Well, that's the ball game, isn't it?
I'm sorry, I was just amazed thinking about alive. Yeah. He's beaten the panel. Well done. Tell him what you do.
I'm a maker of wax figures.
For Tussauds Wax Museum. Exactly.
For Tussauds Wax Museum.
I'm sure that everybody here
Are you
knows
here
about
looking
Madam-
for customers, Mr. Jeff?
Mr. Jim, there are 4 dummies for you right here.
I don't know how much wax that would take, but Madame Tussauds is, of course, a very famous wax works or wax museum, as you would call it, in England. And your purpose of being over here in the States is what this time?
Well, I've come over for Louis Tussauds Waxworks, and I'm over at the Sheraton Foxhead Hotel in Niagara Falls, where I'm fixing up this museum for them. We've got 2 days to run. We open the day after tomorrow.
Well, I hope it's going to be a great success. Now, I, funnily enough, haven't met you until tonight. I had to come to New York to meet you. One question I really wanted to ask you. How do you get the wig on the dummies?
Well, it isn't a wig, really.
Oh, good question.
It's an inserted hair. We get the hair from Italy, and we color it the right color, and then we
You insert them on me?
Each one at a time.
On some it takes longer.
It'd be a rather painful process, but I'll try.
Well, let's say success to the exhibition
Yes,
at Niagara
right.
Falls. Nice to see you, Keith. Thank you. Well, there you are. The score is 1 each, so honor is saved. Now, we'll be resuming battle in just a moment when we meet our mystery guest. But first, here's a word from our sponsor. All right, well, now it's time to meet our famous mystery guest, and you probably know the rules here are slightly different. The panel have to guess who the person is, not what the line or job is, and since our mystery guests are so frequently identifiable, the panel are, of course, blacked out. All set, panel?
Yes, sir.
So would our mystery guest sign in, please? Well, mystery guest, you're very welcome. Somebody out there seems to know you. All right, now we're starting off with Bennett Cerf.
Well, to get a lurking suspicion out of my mind, are you a great, great dancer?
No!
Eddie's furious. That's 1 gone, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, are you by any chance a singer?
No! I'm saying on the basis of our mystery guest, no, 2 down, 8 to go, but I've heard him sing. Mr. Gabel.
Are you an actor?
Obviously for Disney. Do you act in motion pictures?
Yes!
I think that's tentative.
Are you also what might be termed a television personality? Don't hear it.
Yes!
Oh, the suspense is killing me here. Miss Kilgallen.
It's killing me, too.
It's killing me, too!
Would you describe yourself as a leading man type?
I like to think of myself that way.
That's a long way of saying no. That's 3 down, 7 to go.
That's the short way of saying no.
Are you a man?
That's a good question, because I sound like like a mouse.
What was that answer? He's a mouse.
Yes, Mr. Gabel. Or Miss Francis.
You are a comedian?
Well, once in a while, we do a little bit here with the blazers.
I think he means yes.
Also, yes.
Mr. Cerf.
Are you now, or have you in the past year been on a regular weekly television program?
I would say yes.
Miss Kilgallen.
Have you ever appeared in a New York nightclub or supper club?
Yes, I have.
Listen, to come right down, are you red buttons?
No, I'm not.
Too late now.
Now guess.
I was going to say, are you redheaded? Would have gotten a sort of a no.
I felt like signing in gray buttons tonight. But I signed in with my Japanese cognomen.
Oh, why not? Well, I must say it was great hearing all that, and I don't know how you did it. I thought it was going to explode here because there was a long process started down here and then came up out here eventually as a yes or a no.
I almost did. It's nice being back again.
Well, that's nice me meeting you for the first time here because, of course, I've seen you many times, Red. What about this latest picture of yours that's coming out now, the big circus? Is this? You're playing a leading man in that? Is that where I led them astray?
Well, I am playing a leading man in the big circus. It opens at the Roxy Theater July 22nd and simultaneously, I think, throughout the country. I don't like to talk about it, but it's a wonderful, wonderful movie. And I'm superb in this movie. I don't like to bring it up, but if they'd go and see it, I'm sure they certainly would enjoy it. I really am reticent about all this. I really mean it. I don't.
Are you going to win another Academy Award, Red?
Well, we've been thinking about it.
Well, since you're reticent about these things, I was reading, too, where at recently Playhouse 90 you were a sensation.
Well, it was an acting effort on my part. I went legitimate for that one. Well, I really enjoyed it. I don't think we have enough time for all this, but I enjoyed Playhouse 90 very, very much.
And what we'll do is we'll see the big circus. And thank you, Red.
Thank you,
very
and congratulations to you on your first show here.
Thank you.
Nice to be with you.
Thank you. The panel have been doing very well indeed. They got our first challenger, they got our Mr. Guest red buttons, and we'll have another contestant after this word from our alternate sponsor. All right, now, apart from our celebrity, we're level pegging panel, one each, so let's see who forges ahead as we ask our next challenger to sign in, please. Miss Becky Swansea. Over in Wales, of course, we spell Swansea, S-W-A-N-S-E-A, but this is a real jazzy way, Becky. Where do you come from?
North Carolina.
North Carolina, eh? Have you met these famous people before? I bet you have. Well, you come over, Becky, and we'll see if we can really beat them. Now, if you just pull up your chair and make yourself very comfortable. We're both full of confidence, aren't we, Becky?
Oh, yeah.
That's it, we are. Well, now, once again, we show you at home what our challenger does for a living. If you want to close your eyes, do so. Here it comes. Well, now, Mr. Gabel, you've got the first question for Miss Becky Swansea, and the information for you is that she's salaried.
Is there a product connected with what you do, Miss Swansea?
Yes, there is.
Isn't it a lovely accent? Yeah?
Is it something that I could use?
Yes.
Is it more suitable?
I don't think that Becky is in a position to answer that question. I mean, assuming certain information and assuming this information were constant and that could means the present tense, we couldn't really answer yes or no, so we say no.
But
That's one down and 9 to go.
Eamonn.
Eamonn, everybody in North Carolina knows all about Martin. Maybe she knows.
Of course. I've always wanted to be a Tar Heel.
Never, no. I think
If
it's,
you're giving me a no just based on the use of could in the present tense, could I in the future perhaps use it?
You've got your no, brother. Yes, Miss Francis.
Carry on.
Do people use this product?
Yes, they do.
They do? Can they buy it in a store?
No.
Maybe not yours, but a similar one?
No.
It isn't sold in
We
stores?
don't think so, no. I've never seen it on sale in the store. 2 down, 8 to go. Bennett, Cerf.
Becky, Swansea, Mr. Eamonn Andrews didn't tell us what part of North Carolina you come from. Would you mind telling us?
Charlotte, of course.
Charlotte.
Of course.
A very lovely city. Do you work in Charlotte?
Yes, I do.
Do you work more indoors than outdoors?
Yes. I don't work all the time in Charlotte,
But
but mostly.
It wouldn't be accurate, would it, to say that you work more indoors than outdoors?
No.
Correct. That's 3 down and 7 to go. Miss Kilgallen.
Very tough guy.
Miss Swansea, if you can't buy it in a store, could anyone give it to someone else as a present?
You could if you knew the person very well, but you wouldn't. That's 4 down and 6 to go.
But I only said could, Eamonn. He's really worse than John.
We're
Mr.
deporting
Gabel.
him next week.
Is your product, would it be called or considered a homemade product?
Homemade.
Home in the
say
sense
so.
of your backyard, since it's more outdoors than in.
Oh, no.
No. We'll just give you the 1 no for the home and 1 for the backyard. We'll leave it at that. 5 down, 5 to go. Miss Francis.
Did we say that Miss Charlotte, North Carolina, that she was salaried?
We did, yes.
We did say that. Did we say that she does work for a profit-making organization?
No, we didn't say that yet. That's 6 down, 4 to go.
Well, very
I'm leading
quickly,
that way.
very quickly before Eamonn says no again, do you work for a profit-making organization?
Yes.
Is it a very large organization?
Yes.
Is there anything alive or about the product, or was the product ever alive that you worked with?
No.
No, I've never seen one alive. 7 down, 3 to go. Miss Kilgallen.
If you can't buy it in a store, may I call you Becky?
Oh, by all means.
You've been so rough on us for such a long time, I feel we should know each other better. If you can't buy it in a store and you wouldn't give it away, and it's not homemade, well, I don't know if I can think of any questions to ask. Could I hold this in my hand?
Yes.
Is it
Would-
bigger than a bread box?
If I were holding it in my hand, would I probably have some reason for doing so other than admiring it?
I would say you'd want to have a very good reason, yeah.
Is this a practical product rather than sheer luxury?
Yes.
Practical, yes.
Is there anything unpleasant or dangerous about it?
No.
Mind you, if you walk down Park Avenue with it in your hand, it might be dangerous. That's 8 down and 2 to go. Mr. Gabel.
Would it be considered an article of clothing?
Clothing?
No.
No, no doubt about that at all. 9 down, 1 to go. Miss Francis.
If you had one and you were walking down a street, would somebody else notice it?
You mean like if you were walking down the same way? The answer is no. You'd have to
If
come
it-
face on. She's beaten the panel. Very good. Now, Becky, tell them what you do.
I sell false teeth.
She sells false. That Becky
Store
works-
teeth you buy in a store.
Not Becky's, you don't.
And Martin's got
She,
'em.
she works for her father, who runs
Thank
the
you, Bennett.
Charlotte Dental Laboratories, which I believe are the largest there, aren't they? And in
Yes,
fact,
in the
Becky goes
South.
to, in the South. There you are. She goes to high school, and she does this just during the summer. I hope you've had a lot of sales. Did you bring
Thank
any
you.
samples? Never mind. Good night and thank you. All right. Well, Well, that's all we've time for. We kidded them out of that one anyway, making the score 2-1. I'll go back and boast about it. I want to tell you how nice it's been being chairman here, and these good friends really made me feel at home. I enjoyed every bit of it. And when you're in Britain, come and see us there on the What's My Line. John, by the way, will be back, John Daly, back from Tokyo next week right here. It's time for me now to say good night, Dorothy.
Good night, Eamonn. You've been cruel, but we've loved it. Come again soon. Good night, Martin.
Good night, Dorothy. See you later, Arlene.
Indeed you will. Good night, Bennett.
You were great, Eamonn. Come again.
Thank
Good night.
you. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for having me here, and thank you for joining us on What's My Line?
Transportation for contestants on What's My Line is arranged by United Airlines. What's My Line is a CBS television network production in association with Mark Goodson and Bill Cotton.